How much do you pay for rent in New York?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I own my...
Could I have a tour of your home? It'd take like 20 minutes.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. It's like a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah? This space is awesome.
I usually wear like with the...
Dang. Because this is how you normally are?
Outside.
Outside.
Inside, I'm like the way I am inside.
The roof is falling apart a little bit.
I had a flood.
Oh.
The roof redone. It was a mess.
When was the flood?
About a month ago. A contractor who was a fraud, basically. And he dug holes in the roof. When it rained, the entire house fell apart.
I think it's a beautiful space. Yeah, the red, the yellow,
Well, red
the
is
dining room.
Sicilian good luck. In Sicily, if you need good luck, you touch red.
I'm all about that. And where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Oh, you are?
And my father was born in Brooklyn. Native Brooklynite.
You got to tell me about these walls.
My wife was born in Sicily. She passed away 5 years ago. We were together 55 years. I adored her. She was a flamboyant person, kind of like Sophia Loren.
Wow.
She would walk into a room and 300 people would like start dancing with her. She was remarkable. And we had picked out this kind of beige tile, and they had this decorative tile, which was an insert. And she said, why don't we just buy all of the decorative tile and do the whole wall like that, which I thought was very Sicilian and very wonderful. We figured this area here would be kind of like a bar area, drink martinis and smoke cigars. And,
That's great. Yeah, this is great. I'm assuming this is your book.
And this
right
is a book that just came out that I did with the poet Michael Stevens, who's an old friend of mine. But basically, they're love poems, and I related to them very strongly about my relationship with my wife.
Dishes upon dishes.
Kitchen utensils.
Wow, the aroma coming from the spice cabinet. 2,500 ties. I feel like I'm in Brooks Brothers right now.
Now, I understand, you're talking to an artist, and you think all of this is very weird. But I figure that's, the way I was brought up. That's who I am. No, when I bought the place, it was a very dangerous neighborhood. But I figured, I'm going to lock the door and work. What do I care? That vegan pastry shop opened, and Speedy Romeo, the wonderful pizzeria on the corner, has a Michelin star. No, I bought it 24 years ago.
24?
But I could never afford to renovate.
Sure.
Eventually, I accumulated enough smack that I could actually do it.
He's not talking about drugs here. He's talking about moolah, baby. How much did you buy this place for? 25 years ago. My guess is 400,000.
Close. Zillow has it listed now at like 8 million.
Looks tasty. Scrumptious. This is awesome. I feel like I stepped back in time a little bit.
This is a photo by Ari Markopoulos of Cecil Taylor. It's the last photo of Cecil taken. It's about a week or two before he died. And Cecil and I were very close. I met Cecil also when I was about 14, and I gave the eulogy at his funeral. We were very close. He was one of the greatest teachers I ever had, and a genius. This is where I work. Basically, I had to design this entire building myself. When I bought it, it was a frozen food factory. There was no light. There were no windows and no skylights. This wall didn't exist. I built that. This is some of the current stuff. I was knocking these things out here. Now, I work like 12 hours a day. Over the course of a week, I can probably pull it off if I put in, a solid week's work on it. There's this wonderful anecdote that somebody asked Franz Klein about that. It might have been Frank O'Hara. And he said, if I painted what I knew, then I'd be bored. If I painted what you knew, you'd be bored. So I paint what I don't know. Basically, you're making visual nutrition for people that need to somehow absorb solace from just communicating with what they're viewing at.
Man, this is like a dream studio.
My son is moving out.
Whoa. Are these all records?
Yeah, there's 75,000 records.
Holy shit.
He used to live and he moved out.
These are all your books. Now I feel like I'm in a library.
Yeah, this is about half of them, which is why I have to get everything moved out.
You said the flooding happened. Was it coming through like up here and up
It came
here?
through everything. That is, the flooding was so bad.
I guess that's why all the wires are hanging up there.
The floor buckled and you can't close the door.
Peek out actually into the artist studio on the left-hand side. Kind of makes me feel like I'm in a sports stadium.
Bedroom. That's my father's painting. He was pretty good. I made the bathroom for her. It's a jacuzzi I've never used. Anyway, that's our wedding.
That's your wedding right there.
This is before we got married over here. Okay, these are all cups that, in a fit of manic craziness after my wife died, I just decided to order online. And they're just basically everybody I like. Clarice Lispector and Lena Horne, Ornette Coleman, Lenny Tristano. The usual gang of idiots, as Mad Magazine used to say.
Oh, and here's your 100 shoes right here.
Exactly.
Bang, 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 bang.
I put fresh flowers in every week for my wife. Always, just in her memory.
It's very sweet.
Yeah. It's a continual gnawing at my head. When she passed, passed upstairs. I sat in the studio for 3 days. I was in the middle of this big series. Maybe even the series was showing in Germany. I'm not even sure. And, then I thought I saw her at the top of the stairs saying, "Hey, asshole, go down and work. What the hell, you know? Her spirit is kicking me out." So I've been on my ass for 5 years. I just work as a narcotic now.
How did you guys meet?
We met in high school.
No
I
way.
met her when I was 14 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was one of those Sputnik kids, so I was skipped a couple of years. So I graduated high school when I was like 14 and a half or something. I was a troubled kid. I learned how to do school. You see who the teacher is, what the text wants, what they want on tests. So like I was bored. I was pulling A's, not doing any work. So I was hanging out with the worst element in school. You know, we had like juvenile delinquents with black leather jackets and, you know, who'd like stab people and rob grocery stores. And they were in the high school. It was a huge school. It was 6,500 kids near Coney Island.
Shit.
So during class, I would cut class and sit on the stairs where the good echo was with 5 other guys who were singing doo-wop. And we had 2 local neighborhood groups, the Mystics and the Passions. I'm sitting on the stairs singing with these 5 guys, doo-wop in the stairwell. And this girl comes down, you know, and she says, "Excuse me, I have a pass." And the first thing I ever said to my future wife at the age of like 13, I turned around and said, "Go fuck yourself."
No.
And she gives me this big kick and she goes down the stairs.
No.
Anyway, later that year I realized I'm hanging out with these dangerous people. This isn't good. So I became a faux intellectual. I got myself herringbone 3-piece suits, I smoked a pipe, and I decided to join student government. The next year there's a student government class where all like the elected, you know, representatives of each grade meet to decide whether to have ice cream in the cafeteria, whatever the fuck they do, you know. So I'm sitting there with my friend, and he said to me, "I know everybody in this room." And I said, "So do I." And he says, "Except for that girl." And there's a girl sitting by herself. "I don't know her either." I said, "Watch this." So I walk over and said, "Hi, I'm Archie." And she looks at me and says, "Aren't you the boy who was sitting on the stairs last year and I had to kick and you said those terrible things to me?" I said, "My God, it's her." So I went back and said, "I know this chick. She's crazy. Now I've got to get her." My father and grandfather both had long subscriptions to the Metropolitan Opera House. My father was a flute player. He was the 4th flute in the Philharmonic before the Depression. He wasn't really the 4th flute. He was like a guy they would call in if they needed a 4th flute.
Yeah.
He had tickets on Tuesday and Thursday night for the Met, and he used to take us as kids. You know, I'd fall asleep, I had school the next day. He was wonderful that way. And my grandfather bought his subscription like in 1904, so he had fabulous seats, like the center of the orchestra. I knew that being Italian, she might like opera. So I went to my grandfather. "Hey, Grandpa, you got any tickets for the opera?" He said, "What do you got this Saturday night?" "I've got Tales of Hoffman." I said, No, what do you got up there?" He says, "I have Rigoletto." I said, "Can I have those tickets?" So I walked into class the next week, and I flashed these 2 Metropolitan Opera tickets, and I flashed these 2 Met tickets for Rigoletto. "Next month, you want to go to the opera with me and see Rigoletto?" And she stammered, because I got her.
Dang.
She said, I'll have to ask my mother." I said, "You do that." You know, I had these tickets in my pocket.
Let's go. Let's go.
And that's how